So I will start from the disclaimer. We are just going to talk about educational stuff, mainframe hacking, and how to get into cyber, stuff like that. And I wanted to say a few words about me. So I'm a penetration tester. I'm certified as a covert access specialist, and like all of those, they call me Wonder Woman of Cyber because of my picture on LinkedIn with the cape. And I like to share motivational content on LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube. And why am I here? Just because I wanted to just be better at public speaking and presenting, and I'm like a bit shy, I guess still. So I just wanted to like push myself into it and start a stream. So that does help me to be more brave and like better at presenting, to share my knowledge, and overall to highlight people that are important to me and to the industry, and actually that I like those people. And so I'm inviting and I'm talking with them, so that's why I'm here. Also, I wanted to introduce Michelle Eggers to you guys.
Hello.
And I have, a question. The first question to you, actually, could you introduce yourself and tell me more about yourself? Because I think you will do
Mhm.
it best.
Sure. I'm Michelle Eggers. Hi. Hi, Superwoman Dorota. How are you? Thank you for having me on. I'm a pen tester. I test web apps and mainframes as well. A little bit of network testing too. I've been in the industry a couple of years. I did a transition, like a shift, a big pivot from a background in project management. My undergrad is in accounting, even. So it's been a bit of an interesting journey to get where I am, but I love what I do. It's so interesting and really keeps me engaged. And I'm happy to share whatever I can to people who are looking to get in the industry or who are already in and just want to hear about other people's experiences. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. That's a perfect answer. And I'm really happy that you're here. I was really excited and was waiting for that stream. Yeah, especially actually, because but I want, I digress. I sorry. So, what makes Michelle smile? What brings you joy? That's my next question.
Well, today I just went to the gym, so that was nice. Winter is hard. I'm not a cold weather person, so I like to be active. Cybersecurity is a passion of mine, but it's also my job. So I try to make sure that I have good balance in the rest of my life as well, and so that I'm not putting too much pressure on my career to be my total fulfillment because it can't be. So I like to travel. I love hot springs. It's like one of my favorite things to do, just find them wherever I can and go dunk in some super hot water. I have a family of kids, they bring me tons of joy. They keep me very busy. So, yeah, I think having a good balance in my life with activities and family and friends and my hobbies, reading, all of that helps to put joy into my life and takes the pressure off the career a little bit as well.
You mentioned reading, and I like to read too. So I just wanted to ask, which genre do you like to read, if that's okay?
Um, yeah, well, I have two books I'm kind of reading right now. I'm finishing Outlander, and then I also got White Oleander from the library, so I'm finishing that as well. They're both fiction. One's more historical fiction, one's like modern character based type of storyline. If I'm not reading something like that, I'll usually read like nonfiction. I like cookbooks. Sometimes I'll get them just to them, even though I'll never make it. But yeah, just anything really that grabs me that's entertaining. I like to dig into it.
Yeah, I do that too. Sometimes I just buy the cookbook because I just watch the pictures in it and I never
Yeah,
eat
I
anything.
know.
For example, I buy
It's
a book
inspiring.
on sushi, and yeah, it's like I just, oh, it's so pretty.
Hmm.
Okay, the next question. What is your specialty in cybersecurity, and how can others gain experience in that specialty?
um, Yeah, so technically my specialties would be, web application pen testing and the mainframe pen testing. But I think my real specialty is my ability to connect with people and still be technical at the same time. So it really helps when I have to communicate with clients or do readout calls or demos, anything that's involving interactions with other humans, even internally, just sort of connecting and networking within my own organization. I really feel like that is my actual legitimate specialty, being able to merge the ability to interact with people and have really positive outcomes, and also bring that hardline technical skill set to provide the work that I'm being paid to do, that I also really enjoy doing. So it's a blend of those two things that I really lean into as like my top attribute.
Yeah, that's thank you for sharing. That's a great answer. And yeah, I'm just throwing questions at you. So sorry if that's like maybe a bit fast paced, but okay,
No, you're good. Yeah.
okay. And because you said you don't have much time, so I'm like,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can, don't rush. We're good.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm happy to be here.
If there is one myth that you would like to debunk in cybersecurity, what would that be?
Um, there are a couple of myths actually. Um, I would say one, I don't know how prevalent it is as of right now, but for a while, there were a lot of people really trying to sell this idea that you could get into cybersecurity and make all this money after 90 days and do this one training program and get hired and be rich. And I'm like, that's, first of all, it's not the point of this career field. And secondly, it's simply not true. So that's one thing that I think needs to completely go away. It brings the wrong type of people toward the field, and then also it can be really disappointing when someone, even if they genuinely are interested in doing it, they can get discouraged when they're like, how come I'm not making 250K after 18 months? It's like, well, that's not usually the way it goes. If you have no background and you're just starting out, like, it's not realistic. So I don't like when people sell lies. So that's one thing. Then the other thing, this one's pretty funny, is just like the hoodie, and it's always a guy in a basement or a bunker or some like weird
Yeah.
bare apartment, and just some loner who never talks to anyone, and he's just hacking and hacking and hacking. And like, I have certainly met people like that. They are real people, but that is not representative of the industry as a whole. That's, I would say, a minority of the people who are doing this work. I mean, there's just all kinds of men and women from all over the world doing this work as their job. We're not the TV movie hacker with the black hoodie. Maybe on Friday afternoon, but not always.
Yeah, but I do agree with you because a lot of people think it's like Mr. Robot, like the Elliot character, that he's like
Mhm.
yeah, very withdrawn and like introverted and just focuses on himself, like bettering himself. I know people like that actually, but not everyone is like that. And yeah, I don't actually own a black hoodie, to be honest. So, and another thing I wanted to add from myself is that I don't really like when I really resonated with the things that you said that you don't like where people are selling lies. I think similar
Mm,
thing is with boot camps that they sell very expensive boot camps.
mm,
Yeah, maybe some people do need those kind of yeah, education to be like pushed into it, but I do believe all of that what is there you can learn yourself, and that will be even better for you in your CV if you learn yourself, because it will show to the employer that you know how to research, yeah, look for knowledge and like find it for free. I don't know. So I don't know. I think Googling is a very important skill. No one really puts it in the CV, but I think it's, yeah, I don't know, it's important.
yeah, I love that you said that, because I did a boot camp, but even from the people who went through my boot camp, only a handful of us actually went on into careers shortly after the boot camp. It was quite a small number of people who got into jobs. And even so, it took me a lot of interviews and a lot of resumes and a ton of networking and extra legwork. Like, the boot camp itself was just one piece of the puzzle, and it certainly didn't get me my job. It gave me
Yeah.
some background knowledge, which I agree, I could have probably done that for free on my own. I like that it provided me with some like guardrails, so I didn't get too in the weeds, not quite knowing what to study. It helped give me some parameters, but the boot camp itself is no guarantee that you're going to get a job in the field whatsoever. It really is up to the individual. Doing your Googling, doing your research, doing your own work. That's really what it comes down to. It has to be you doing it. No
Yeah.
class is going to make it happen for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in a better way. And also, like, I was looking for a new job last year for like a half year, and all of the CVs that I sent, none of them, and yeah, some of them ended with a job interview, but none of them actually got me the job. But the job I got from being active on LinkedIn, presenting on conferences, networking, like knowing some people, like going to live classes, live trainings, and then meeting someone there that connected me with the job. So actually, uh, I wanted to say, like, if I as an example to give, if I had like some kind of a certification or a few of them, it was not this, or maybe it was something that they saw on my LinkedIn profile, like that was maybe one of the puzzle that they saw and what it was interested, but actually meeting me in person, knowing if I fit into the team, like who I am as a person, what do I stand for, was the thing that got me the job, not like sending CVs. So yeah, I will move along here. And next question: can you share any interesting or challenging stories from your experience as a pen tester?
Interesting or challenging. Yeah, I've had some interesting findings, I suppose. When I was just a baby pen tester just starting, I found some pretty scary things that, one of my findings was it was an IDOR, an insecure direct object reference between different business banking accounts. And
Oh,
I actually have this in one of my talks that I gave this past year with a demo and everything. But basically, you could go, you know, to your business banking account, URL, change the numbers a little bit. It was only a 4-digit identifier for the account. You could just iterate through, and now you're in different accounts. You can access all their data, their check images. You could download things. You can transfer funds. And the scary thing was, as a junior pen tester, as an associate, is what we call it. I was only supposed to be on non-production tests. Um, but I had a gut feeling that it was a prod environment, and it was. It was a 100% a production environment. So I stopped myself from going too far because I could have actually drained an entire city's business banking account just to see if the transfer functionality would work. I was like, well, I think I have enough proof of concept here. I don't need to go too crazy with it. And to make it even a little more scary, it was the API servicing that bank, that specific feature that had the insecurity, and they service multiple banks. So it wasn't just the
whoa.
one test that I did, it was many banks that use the same API vendor to manage this feature. And so I remember sitting in meetings and them talking about heartburn and like yelling at each other, like people from the vendor side and people from the client side. And I'm on the consultant side, like, well, here's what I found. Any questions? And then I just sit there and listen to them yell for like an hour. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
I like what I do. I'm glad I don't have to be the one to like uh repair it, I suppose. But I am happy that I get to come in with fresh eyes and find these things and help people. Because when you're the one who built it, you're so close to it. It can be hard to see all the potential holes. So as a person who's coming in, third party, taking a look, I think it really provides a huge benefit. So it's nice. I like doing what I do.
yeah, that's a very interesting vulnerability, and yeah, that must have been interesting meeting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just turned my mic off and kind of sat there. It's like, well, I'm here, but you guys have at it.
Okay, the next question. Can you tell us about your journey? How did you get started in cybersecurity? And
Mm.
yeah, interested in mainframes. Mainframes.
Yeah, yeah. So Getting into cybersecurity, like I said before, I had worked at a couple of different tech companies, but I was in a non-technical role, and I really wanted that. I wanted to do something that was more challenging for me, that would present, different puzzles on a more regular basis. And that's really what pen tests are. They're little puzzles where you are looking for holes, you're looking for weaknesses, and every environment is a little bit different. So it provided that challenge that I wanted. But to get into it, I was working full time as a project manager at an internet service provider company, and I did the boot camp at night. So it was an intensive one. It was a 6 month long program. So I'd work in the day, and then I would do class at night. It was like 5 days a week and every other weekend. It was a lot. It was a lot of, it took a lot of energy. And at the same time, like we were talking about just a minute ago, I was doing live trainings, free stuff through, Black Hills or Sands or whoever was offering something I could do, getting involved doing CTFs, working with trace labs, just whatever I could sink my teeth into that was genuinely of interest, that I could put it on a resume, but it was also meaningful to me. It wasn't just like random stuff. There were all things that I was actually interested in. That also happened to be good for my resume. So I just did a lot of that. I think I did. It was about 200 resumes that I put out over the course of maybe 4 months or so, and then I did just over 40 interviews. NetSPI hired me, and I was really, really happy because NetSPI hired me to go directly into pen testing. I didn't have to start where I thought I would have to start. I thought I would be a natural fit going into GRC with my PM background, or my accounting background, having that sort of analytical, wordy focused workload. And then I didn't have to do SOC analyst stuff either. I just went directly into a pen testing role, which was really, I mean, such a blessing. Like I did not expect it, and I'm so happy. Then they put me through a training program internally that not everybody made it through that one either. So it's just been a lot of learning, and really you just have to keep going. Um, and you can keep going if it's something that you actually genuinely want to do, if it's real for you, if you have that internal motivation. Um, and as far as getting into Mainframe, we hired Phil Young, who is our Mainframe director, and he was at, I think, Wells Fargo for something like 14 years. He's been doing Mainframe forever, for a really long time. He got like questioned in Sweden once because they thought he was part of this other breach that he was not. They thought he did it because he talks about Mainframe. So that's a whole story. You can ask Phil about that. But yeah, I just met him internally, and I helped him out with an MMAP workshop at DEF CON, and we just started talking, and from there he said, hey, would you be interested in Mainframe? And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, actually, that does sound interesting. Very few people do it. I love a good niche. I'm such a fan of being in a niche. Like, I love, like, because it's a tighter community and you really get to know everybody. And I feel that you can contribute more meaningfully because it's not so inundated with hundreds, thousands of people. It's just less. There's less people, so that you can, um, you know, put out a tool or do a talk or write a blog, and it will really be adding to the body of knowledge for that field. So for me, it's just perfect. I've really enjoyed it, meeting lots of cool people doing it too. Mhm.
Can you tell me his name again? I'm taking notes. Phil?
Yeah, sure. Philip Young. Yeah. And then like Mark Wilson in the UK and Henry Kuiper in Sweden, Kev Milne. He's written some cool, like a mainframe course, which I didn't know existed until recently. So I actually did a podcast with Tiberius, and I was like, there's no mainframe training, you have to make it up. And then like a day later, I saw Kev's stuff, and I was like, oh no, that's right, there is. So yeah,
Would you be
yeah.
actually interested in that course?
Would I? Yes, yeah, I would do it. I love continue. I'm actually starting the OSCP also to build up my
Yeah,
my
because
web app stuff.
like at the end of the stream, I wanted to do like a draw of people that would take part in the course from Kevin that he offered to me 5 slots, actually 6, and
Yes, that's
I
so cool.
and he said like only for your subscribers, but I have 5 subscribers, so I thought maybe someone would subscribe during the stream, but I have one viewer at the moment. So maybe if you want, then I can offer the last slot for you. Would you be interested?
Of course.
Yay!
Yes.
That's so cool.
Absolutely.
High five.
Uh.
Okay, so that was cool. I have from a different barrel question. How did you become a speaker on DEF CON?
Oh, so that was just serendipity, like entirely, because I did not think DEF CON would want me. Like I feel like I'm too new. What do I have to say? What can I give? And the AppSec Village reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, would you be interested in giving a talk?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, yes, I would. Yes, I would." I think I submitted a couple different ones for them to look at, and then they picked one. And I was very nervous, but it went really well. So I was so happy to do that. And then I did another talk that same week for B-Sides Las Vegas. And that one was so great in preparing me to be a speaker because I did the Proving Grounds program that they have where they pair you with a mentor. So they paired me with Sibel from Brazil, and she does, I think, cyber intelligence. Brilliant woman, so cool. And she just helped me review my slides and feel relaxed about everything. Gave me a lot of, she does a ton of talks. So she had just a wealth of experience that I could glean knowledge from. But she really helped me prepare to be a speaker in general. It wasn't just like doing a presentation. You know, in my previous roles before getting into cyber, I gave presentations. I would present to, you know, C-suite. I would have, you know, numbers I would have to give, or uh, just whatever it was. Like, so, I mean, I at one point I was managing the top 5 clients of an engineering firm. They made imagers, infrared imagers that go into drones. I was managing like 20 million in revenue.
Wow.
And so like I have experience presenting to people, but giving a talk is different. It's it's a whole bunch of people who don't know you, right? And you're teaching them something that maybe they know more than you in some
Yeah.
areas, or maybe they've never even heard of it. And so you have to think about all these different people who might be there and how you can bring information to them in a way that will be interesting and engaging, and they can take something away from it that will be beneficial to them in their career and what they do. So I really like giving talks. Like I do get nervous, but I really enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I was really terrified of public speaking at first, but I do enjoy giving because I like sharing my knowledge and like teaching people something, and I'm very excited by about the topics that I create the presentation on. So yeah, I really like that too. Uh,
Yeah.
so okay, another question: Why are mainframes often overlooked in cybersecurity? What risks does
Mm.
this pose? Why are they still so critical in today's cybersecurity landscape?
A lot of people think mainframe is dead. They don't know anything about it. And part of that is because the industry itself almost kind of like self-annihilated. It's I would say it was the late 90s, I think it was. The guy Stuart Alsop, he announced in this article that mainframe will be sunset by 1996, something like that. And it didn't happen. But people still took his word as truth to a certain degree. So a lot of organizations stop investing into their workforce. They didn't hire new people. They didn't develop ongoing training. So the people who knew how to do it and work with it slowly dwindled over time. And now we're looking at a lot of people who are retiring and not a lot of people in that middle space. But there are there is a growing amount of new people coming in, even people learning how to code COBOL, right?
Wow.
Because, yes, because mainframe is still heavily in use by a lot of industries, by financial sector, of course, banks. If you use a debit card, 99 times out of 100, it's going to touch a mainframe. If airlines use it for their ticketing systems, governments use it, all kinds of people are on mainframe. And it actually is more cost effective in the long run, and you have better tenancy over your own data. It's not in a cloud somewhere else in someone else's computer, a server farm somewhere. It's your device on site that you can secure directly. So that's something I really like about mainframe. So it's in use and it hasn't gone away. So as far as people not understanding it or not, thinking it matters, really it's just been the cultural treatment of mainframes that has brought that around. But I think it's changing. And there's some regulatory compliance things that are happening as well that are going to push organizations to test it more frequently. So
I think it's
gotta take
maybe
a
like
look.
a belief that people think that everything is in the cloud now, but yeah, or is it? Is it?
I mean, a lot of stuff is in the cloud,
Yeah,
but not everything. Not everything can be in the cloud. There's some, yeah. So.
yeah. Let's leave it at that. And like, okay, next question. What are some of the most common vulnerabilities you've encountered in mainframe systems?
Most of the vulnerabilities that I see, because I primarily test Kix applications, so it's not as expansive. Um, well, for like my day-to-day workload, as far as what I normally test, I usually see access issues. I see like weak password policies. I've seen workarounds where you don't have to finish authenticating, and then you can still get access to different commands. So yeah, having authentication and authorization bypasses, weaknesses, things like that. That's typically what I see with
Okay,
mainframe vulnerabilities. Yeah.
interesting.
Hmm.
Thank you. And okay,
Hmm.
the next one. Can you share a memorable or challenging ethical hacking experience involving a mainframe?
Whew. Well, this one was this is in a talk as well, and really it was a test that I did with Phil, so it was both of us working on it. But basically, if you went into the mainframe itself and you tried to access certain data sets or files, as a lower privileged user, you were disallowed. So the mainframe was secure, right? Checked it, couldn't get it. All right, that looks good. However, there was an issue where the mainframe was integrated with a web application, and that web application was set up to pull information from the mainframe, sort of using the mainframe as a backend. So if you modified the request, you could navigate to those disallowed files, those privileged data sets, as a non-authenticated user. So it was properly secured on the mainframe, but you could just go through the web app and pull whatever you wanted without even
Oh,
authenticating. So
that's wild.
that's another, yes, very wild. That was another scary situation. And the thing is with mainframe is, yes, they're pretty secure devices. They have been around a while, but the bigger weaknesses that we're seeing have to do with the integrations, have to do with the APIs and the web apps, everything else that's tied into the mainframe now. They're not isolated systems anymore, and they haven't been for a while.
Well, that sounds scary a bit. Yeah.
That's why we do it. That's why we
Yes.
do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
We. Yes. That is like we have a cause there.
Yes.
Okay, next one. What advice would you give to someone looking to specialize in mainframe security?
So to specialize in it, yeah, get involved, meet the people who are already doing it. I think everyone I've met who works in mainframe is so chill, and they're happy to knowledge share. They're happy to bring new people in and teach them. There's not there's hardly any gatekeeping going on from what I've experienced so far. There aren't like cool kids clubs. The people are just really open and really willing to help bring and guide new people in. So I know IBM has they have a program that's really cool, new to Z, and it's not just for pen testing. It's just if you want to get into mainframe in general, maybe be like a sysadmin or programmer with the different languages there. Yeah, there are a lot of good opportunities, I think, and really it's just because it's a smaller community. I think if you are genuinely interested and you start reaching out to people who are doing it, that'll be a really great way to get your foot in the door with mainframe.
Yeah, just be honest and yeah, talk with people. I
Yeah, just
mean,
talk
yeah,
with people.
yeah, be yourself. Okay,
Hmm. Yeah.
next question I have from my list actually is connected to the one that I was just saw in the chat. So I will first read it from the list and then
Mhm.
supplement from the chat. So, what tools or methods are essential for hacking or securing mainframes? And the one in the chat, do you own a home lab at home? And if yes, what is inside? What usage?
So the number one tool I use on every mainframe test is open source, and it is Hack 3270. I use it paired with an emulator, which is X3270. There's also W3270 for like Windows. Um, but basically, you have your mainframe emulator, and then you use your IP and your port, and you connect into the mainframe itself, and then you have your own sort of screen, right? So you can travel through the different pages and do your testing. And then the tool Hack 3270 helps with flipping bits, injecting things, looking at different possibilities within the page itself. And that tool is newer in the last couple of years. So some of the testing that we do now that we're capable of doing now was impossible. 4 years ago, you couldn't do it in the same way that we can do it now. Home lab, I just moved. I don't have anything right now, but I would like to. I saw something recently. I bookmarked it. There's something you can do with a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. And I wish I could remember what the details were on it, but I have it saved because in my garage, I'm gonna actually build out like a cool workstation where I can do soldering and hardware stuff and have
Oh,
like
that's
I have
exciting.
random monitors down there and old fat laptops and like Raspberry Pis and flippers and just packet squirrels and just all kinds of random stuff. But yeah, so I don't have one at the moment, but I'm really hoping this year to build that out finally.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and maybe high five as
Yeah.
well because I'm going to be moving soon as well, and I
Mhm.
want to build my own lab when I move because it will be a much bigger house that I have
Yeah.
right now. So yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, I'm going away from the mainframe questions.
Mhm.
What are some common misconceptions about pen testing that you would like to clear up?
Common misconceptions about pen testing. Um, it's complicated, but it's also quite straightforward. In my day-to-day work, I have checklists that I go through, which really helps me get through all the low-lying, like the low-hanging fruit, um, gather whatever quick vulnerabilities I can find. And then from there, after I've navigated through the environment, I start to see areas that it's kind of like a ding or a little small red flag, and then I can dig in and investigate that further. So it's really not this overwhelming, super impossible task. You break it out into chunks. You have your frameworks, you have your checklists, your guidelines. Once you get a little bit of experience, it's not as scary, to get in and do your pen test. When I first started, it was intimidating. I didn't want to do something wrong. I didn't want to miss something. Oh my gosh, what if I miss a SQL injection? And what if I miss this thing that led to command execution? And what if I could have, you have these worries. You like want to find
Yeah.
everything. You don't want to miss a thing. Um, but after a little bit of time, you start to get your legs under you. You feel more confident, and you can rely on your tools, your guidelines that you have to make sure you're covering all your bases and you're providing the best result possible. You're getting your testing all done. Um, so a big misconception I think people have is that it's this, you have to be a complete genius. You have to have like been born with a keyboard in your hand. You've only ever used Linux and nothing else. It's just, you can be exactly who you are and still be a fantastic pen tester. You don't have to change your personality. You don't have to change how you live your life. It's a skill set, and that's it.
That's a perfect answer. Wonderful. I also wanted to add from my side that some people maybe think that pen testing is just like, like Mr. Robot Elliot sitting hacking things. But
Hmm.
actually, in pen testing, like maybe more than a half of the work is reporting and like explaining
Oh,
those
yeah.
technical things in an easy to understand way for the business people because they are the ones with the money, so you have to
Uh-huh.
put your time in it. So I think some people get discouraged because they think it will be like Mr. Robot, but actually it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of writing documentation. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yes, reporting is huge, huge. And oh my gosh, you'll get excited. I mean, sometimes I would get excited on a test. I'm like, wow, I'm getting all these good findings. Look at this, look at this. And you're like, oh, wait, I have to write all of this up. I'm like, no. I just
yeah.
had a test. It was short this week. I had a 3-day test. That was it. And I had like 7 mediums and 10 lows, and I threw in an informational just because there's like a robots.txt file. It wasn't insecure necessarily, but it had like 50 endpoints in there or more. And I was
Wow.
like, well, they should probably know that these endpoints are in this file. So I'll just throw it in an informational. But I had like a short test, like a 3-day test, all these findings, like 20 findings I had to write up. Um, so that was a little intense. But yeah, the reporting is real. It's so real. Don't think you're just gonna get to hack and play around because you do have to do the work part too.
Yeah. So that's probably like 3 days of writing the report afterwards, right?
No, I got it done. I try to I try to document as I go, at least the initial stages of the documentation. And internally, we have like a really good system for it. We have something called Platform and also Resolve. That's our old one, but they're pretty similar. Um, so it helps. Like they'll have a finding template, and you still have to write out all your verification steps, but um, it's broken out in a way that makes it more. It has a better flow. It's not, the onus isn't on you to create the entire thing from scratch every time. Um, it's somewhat templatized, which makes it smoother and a little bit more efficient, a lot more efficient, I would say. Yeah.
That sounds nice. Like in my previous job, they used to have like a tool that I just had
Mhm,
to write the name of the vulnerability, and it was like like yeah, creating the report in an automated way, and I just had
mhm,
to change the descriptions a bit, like add the pictures, print screens,
mhm,
and change the executive summary part.
mhm.
But it was like really a relief that most of it was like already done. So yeah,
Yeah,
reporting
so
is
good.
yeah. Okay, next question. Do you think a college degree or certification is necessary to become a cybersecurity professional?
um, yes and no. No, because you can absolutely get the knowledge and skills you need without having a degree or one specific certification that HR is looking for. But yes, in some scenarios, because some places simply won't hire you if you don't have a degree or at least one certification. So it really depends what you want to do, what organization you want to work for. If you want to work at, maybe a smaller consultancy or be part of an internal team, they may or may not have those requirements. But where I work, you have to have a degree. But I know IBM doesn't ask for that anymore. So it varies a lot. It As far as you being capable, no, you don't need that stuff to prove you're capable. But if you're trying to get hired somewhere, it really depends on what they are going to ask you to have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like if you're getting hired for government work, they use the degree as a checkbox. Oh, she had it. Okay, all good. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
okay. That's a
yeah.
great answer actually, because it's not that simple. It's actually a bit complicated and depends on the situation and the company. So, a very good answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next one is, are there any challenges you had to face as a woman working in cybersecurity?
Hmm. Oh boy. um, yeah, but I think it's not just in cybersecurity. It's just working in the corporate world, in general. I'm pretty confident in myself, but I'm also teachable. So if there's something that I want to learn or do, I understand that, maybe I'm new, I'm not going to know everything, but I'm also not going to let someone tell me I'm less good than someone else. I'm not ever going to believe someone who would think I couldn't do something. So there have been some doubts when I first got into the industry that I picked up on, or maybe being misread, my actions being misread by other people. Um, but I'm the type of person who will just continue to push forward. And if someone wants to shut a door, I will find a window or another door, or I'll just walk through the wall like Kool-Aid Man. I'll just make it happen. And I'll have a good attitude about it while I go, because for me, it's never about proving someone wrong, ever. That doesn't fuel me. What fuels me are my own goals and achieving the things that I value. So I let that drive me. It's never about other people, whether they believe in me or not. It's always about what I want to do. And those are the things that I do, regardless of what other people think. So, have I encountered challenges or people maybe undervaluing my contributions potentially in previous jobs? Absolutely. Where I'm at now, not as much. Or maybe people not believing in my skills. Sure. Yeah, I've had people kind of, oh, well, we'll see. I don't let it stop me. I don't let it distract me or discourage me. I've had years of experience of people maybe not believing in me as much as they should have. But if I let them dictate my life, where would I be? I would
Yeah.
not be where I am now. I would not be where I am now. You just have to know who you are and keep going, whether or not people are going to have your back or believe in you. And then the thing is, people will come out of the woodwork and have your back. They will show up and support you, people you didn't even think would. You'll be surprised
Yeah.
at who will show up to help you on your journey if you just keep going. You just have to keep going.
I love that so much. Everything that you said is just like I believe in that as well. And I was actually surprised a few times that people I barely knew stepped up to help me in some way. So
Yeah.
yeah, because they resonated with something, and I do like it was a journey for me because I used to be like very shy when I was a teenager. And I used to care what others think of me, but then I discovered that actually no one cares. People are just too busy about their own problems, and they are like the end of their own nose, to think of you anything. And sometimes they might judge you or like on your cover, but that does not define you. What other people think of you That's their problem. Not you cannot go into inside someone's mind and like change that. So it's only for them,
Yeah.
and it's not something that you should be worried about or concerned. So that I learned that, and it changed my life actually. So and then I know that you are the architect of your own life. That's what you said, but like in different wording. And
Mhm.
what you want, then you have to go after it and make it happen because being active in your own life will transform it in a very positive way and not just because I believe if you don't change your life, it's a choice. You accept your life in the way that it is now. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean
it was very
it's
beautiful.
exactly what it is. Yeah, yeah, I agree completely. Mhm.
Okay, I talk for hours about this because yeah, it was really beautiful what you said, and yeah, I'm really impressed. Next question is, do you have a hacking philosophy or guiding principle you live by? You actually just answered that question, but maybe there's something else.
A hacking principle or guiding philosophy. This sounds, I mean, it's pretty common. You do hear this a lot, but it's so true, is to stay curious. Um, don't ever think you know everything. And at the same time, don't feel bad about it either. No one knows everything. Stay curious, keep learning, keep um, building toward the things that matter to you, increasing your skills, growing into the career that you care about. It really is your life. You're the one that's living it. So
Yeah,
make sure it aligns with you and what you want to do, what brings you joy or peace in your life. So for the hacking philosophy, yeah, keep learning. Do the trainings, talk to other people, learn about, do projects together, do stuff on the side. Like if there's a new opportunity at work, volunteer, see what it's about. Just be
yeah.
open to life in general, and that will filter into all the areas of your life, including your career, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, that's very true. And also, yeah, I wanted to add something from myself. That was actually a recent discovery as well, that I used to resist change, and that made the change last like the process more difficult and more painful for me. And then I discovered that if I just lean into the change and let it flow, and like just I don't know, give up with the resisting, it's so hard. It will be so smooth and like will be much better and like less painful and yeah, so stop resisting change. I guess that's what I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be hard though. I
Yeah,
understand. You get like comfortable in what you're doing. You don't, it's hard to change, but things are going to change whether you like it or not.
yeah,
So it may as well be a change that you bring about. At least you can
yeah,
have some agency in the matter instead of just being at the whims of everything moving around you. At least you can kind of grab in and direct your course a little bit. And like, hey, well, winds are coming, change is coming. How do I want to ride through this change? Where do I want to be as the change is taking place? That's kind of how I
yeah.
look at it.
What I
Yeah.
just thought of was like the Pocahontas Disney movie.
Hmm.
When there's a song when she's going into the river. So
Hmm.
I think that's very yeah. I watched it as a child, but I think that song is very wise because life is a
Mm.
change. You cannot stop life. You're growing every day. You're getting older every day. I don't know, your
Mm.
cells die and there are new cells being produced, created. And so your existence is like, yeah, it's change, constant change. So we just have to, I don't know, understand that this is happening. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that song, first of all. Are you talking about just around the river bend?
Yes.
And you can't step in the same river twice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true. And when you talk about the cells, how our bodies regenerate over time, it's like you don't even wake up the same person you went to sleep as. You don't. It's
Yeah.
wild.
I,
Yeah, it's
I just,
exciting though. Like I
sorry,
feel like if you can go ahead, you go, you go.
yeah, but you go next, okay? But I just remember that my ex told me, "Oh, you're changed," but isn't that the point? You know, like you,
Yes. That's so great. That's such a good example. Yeah. Yeah, people should grow and change. I agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was nice. I'm smiling. Okay, what is the best book or movie that can be used to illustrate cybersecurity challenges, in your opinion?
Oh, I don't know if it's the best, but it's one of my favorites because I saw it when I was super young, and it's The Net with Sandra Bullock, and
Yes.
so good. And I didn't know anything about that, cybersecurity and pen testing at the time. I was like a very young child, like elementary school age or something, and I just remember watching it all the way through, just riveted, like what is happening? What is she doing? Look at the computers and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
there are car chases, and there's danger and intrigue and suspense. I was like, wow. So is it totally realistic? No, no. But it was such a cool female representation of someone doing this, like in this field, and it spoke to me in a way that some other films wouldn't speak to me because the protagonist was a woman,
Yeah.
and she was the subject matter expert. She knew more than like everybody else and was figuring all these things out and wiped a system at the end and took some people offline. It was crazy. It was really cool. So for me, I love that film because it's one of the few films that has a female protagonist in the role as the technical expert, specifically in the field of cybersecurity. Yeah, and I also liked, since someone mentioned the net, um, I had the name and I just lost it, but it's about the operational technology. There's a documentary on it. There's a book by Ted Koppel called Lights Out, but I forget what the documentary is called. Um, Shoot, it's so good. Let me see. Let's see. I wonder if I'll find it. Sorry, probably shouldn't be. We're in a podcast. I'm over
No,
here
no, no, it's
typing.
okay. It's okay.
Oh, okay, okay. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. We'll do. What should I look? Say operational film attack. Maybe.
I no.
Threat landscape. No, I'll have to. Dark. Something dark. Anyway, I'll remember and I'll just send it to you on LinkedIn. How about that?
Actually, I had the next question. What's a hacker movie or TV show that got it completely wrong or surprisingly right? What is your favorite one? But it's kind of like connected to the previous question, but not really.
Hmm.
You want me to
I don't know
start?
if it gets it totally wrong. And a lot of people like the film Hackers, but like I can't even get through it. I know, and I've seen it before, and I tried to rewatch it as an adult. Um, but for me, it's so camp. It's like I have to remove from my brain what it's about in order to just even watch the film. Um, and I don't really like the way they have the Angelina Jolie character in the film either. The way they sort of manage her presence uh, is a little bit misogynist in my mind. So I struggle with that film. But yeah, so that's my not my favorite film about hacking. I'll say that.
Yeah, I have a problem. Like actually, I yeah, it's on the list. I tolerate. It's not my favorite. I tolerate it. I would
Hmm.
say it's good for like all kinds of reasons. Maybe not the technical part. But I do have a problem watching it because sometimes it's too silly, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
It's
will.
pretty goofy.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, what is the biggest mistake you've ever made? If that, and how did you recover from it? And you don't have to answer that question if you don't want to,
Mhm.
only if that's okay. And another like following would be, what do you feel was your biggest win in life?
I think as far as my biggest mistake, and there's not one specific example, but every time I've made a really wrong decision, bad choice, um, it's often due to the fact that I have doubted myself in some way, or I've put aside my thoughts, my ideas, and just subsumed myself into someone else's thoughts or ideas or their life or their plan or their opinion of me. And I've divested myself of my own integrity. Um, and so anytime I find myself hearing other voices more than my own voice, I know I need to reorient and get back on track, because I'm losing my sense of self. So if ever I've begun to lose my sense of self, that's when I feel like I've made the worst decisions, it, just throughout my lifetime. And my biggest wins, this is the transverse of that, I suppose. It's the opposite of that. It's when I've said, here, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to pursue this achievement, this course of action. I'm going to go for it because I feel in my soul that it's right for me. And I'm excited to do this, um, regardless of others' opinions, whether positive or negative, whatever the opinions are. Because sometimes you can do things for validation from others, and other people are like, yay, go you, but it's not right for you, but you're doing it for their accolade. That's a mistake as well, because now you're going down a path that's not real for you. You're just going down this weird rabbit trail because people are praising you along the way, but you're empty inside or dissatisfied or discontent or something because it's not real. So yeah, I feel the happiest. I feel I get my biggest wins when I'm hearing my own true self as I'm making my choices, as I'm going forward, and I'm not letting others' opinions, whether positive or negative, dictate how I live my life. And also, I found the documentary. It's called 0 Days. So,
Taking notes. Thank you.
yeah, yeah, it's on Stuxnet, and I think a lot of people have heard about it, but I've watched it twice. Like, it's just a good documentary. I've also watched James Webb Space Telescope documentary a couple of times. That's the Infinite Time Machine or Cosmic Time Machine. Yeah, that's really good too. It has nothing to do with cybersecurity. I just love it.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
beautiful film.
yeah. I watched that one as well.
Unknown Cosmic Time Machine. What's that?
I watched that one as well. I think it's really good.
So good. So good.
I
Yeah.
actually want to buy like the telescope that you can use at home
Yes.
because now I will have like the new home. I will have an attic with like a window on the on the attic. And I'm
Oh,
so
that's
excited.
perfect.
I'm really looking forward to that telescope thing. So okay, fingers crossed.
No, that's so exciting. I'm trying to get more into stargazing too. I did some research and I have a little book on it. And they're saying, you can just start with binoculars. If you're not sure how to get into it or where to begin, just get a set of good binoculars and go outside. You have to let your eyes adjust for a while. And you can't look at your phone or anything. You can use like a flashlight or a headlamp with a red light on it, and then it doesn't affect your vision as much. But you have to be outside for a while, and then the sky opens up. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's gonna be so cool. A telescope, man. I hope you get to do it. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, that's like my still like a dream from my childhood kind of. So it's
Yeah.
funny that I'm still like making my dreams come true that I had when I was a kid. So I think
Yes.
I'm in my teenager era now. So because yeah,
That's so
actually
perfect.
I'm learning all the sports that I wanted to like. I'm learning snowboarding right now. I'm learning
Hmm.
ice skating. Bought a Laurel blades last year and a longboard.
Oh, I've been
So
rollerblading too. Yeah,
Safe
I
way.
have like a yes, I have a path out in front of my new place, right on the river. I can rollerblade out there. Yes, I love it. I love it. We're living our best lives. We're doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay, I have two more questions. So if anyone
Okay.
has any questions, then you can write them in the chat. I'll be wrapping up soon. But okay, are there any projects, books, or initiatives you're currently excited about that you'd like to share?
Any projects or initiatives as far as things I'm doing personally, or
Personally, that's like wrapping up, not yeah, but whatever you want to share, actually.
yeah, yeah. So last year I did a lot of talks, and that was really cool. That was a really awesome experience. I don't want to do as many this year. I want to scale that back a bit. But it's been cool. Like I've had podcast opportunities open up. So I've done one with you, I did one with Tiberius, I did bare knuckles and brass tacks in December. So if any more of those pop up, I'd be open to that. But mostly this year, I'm looking at deepening my skills and just sort of grounding further into what I do already. So I'm going to get my OSCP finally. I'm just starting that. And I guess now I'm going to do Kev's mainframe training. So that's cool. Um, yeah, really just getting into the things that I've wanted to do and do them more deeply with more focus and intention. And like we talked about earlier, building out a workshop in my new garage. That's going to be really fun. Yeah, yeah. I have like a lot of random equipment that I just want to mess around with. So having both the time and the space to do that is epic. I'm so excited. So
Yeah,
personal projects and like additional learning, these are things that I'm excited for.
I'm really happy for you, and yeah, I'm also excited for things like that. And yeah, actually, I have similar plans that you have. So that's
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that like I'm learning and I'm growing. So I'm really happy that the move is happening soon. And yeah,
Yeah, that's so exciting. I'm excited to do more of the personal stuff too. I have like a trip planned to Santa Fe to go to some hot springs. And then I'm going to go to Greece at the beginning of the summer to learn how to scuba dive. I've never been there ever. There are a lot of places I haven't been because of being busy with family and career and just being very focused on that. And now I'm at a phase of life where I can start to branch out more. Um, I'm really excited for that.
yeah, going
Yeah.
finally, I think 2025 is going to be the good year.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yes. All the way
Yes.
around.
My last question, and if you want to share something on your side after you answer this question, just go ahead. So, what is your favorite food or dish? Because I'm a foodie, so I always ask.
Oh man, my favorite genre of food, I will say, is soul food. It's American soul food from the South, where you have things like collard greens and baked yams, and like soulful macaroni. And you have what else? Like maybe you do wings with it, or maybe you do oh
Oh,
my gosh, chicken and dumplings. I really like anything that's from the American South, and it's so full of like fat and butter and like but some of it's really healthy too, like black eyed peas, for example. That's really healthy. So are greens, so are yams. So it's like finding these foods that I grew up with, especially on my dad's side of the family, learning how to make it for myself. And when I make it really well, I eat it. It's just like emotions are coming out, and I'm just like, I have this wash of nostalgia, and I feel so just comforted and content when I eat this food. It's so good. So basically, anything from the American South is like top notch on my list. Barbecue, it's so good. I love it. I love it.
okay. So, my mouth is watering right now. So, if you could share some recipes, I would be very happy to receive those. And can you tell me like
Definitely.
one city that I could go there and like I don't know, go and try all those of those dishes and like feel content and like yeah, make memories.
Mm.
Where should I buy tickets to? Because I'm interested.
Well, so my dad's family's from Texas, but they're from like a really rural part of Northeast Texas. Um, but like, I think you
Austin?
could get some good food down there. You could probably, yeah, you could get some good food in Austin. You could go to the Carolinas. They have good food. I don't think you can go wrong. Also New Orleans. That's a different type of food, but
Whoa.
oh boy, they're throwing it down. It's phenomenal. Etouffee, jambalaya, po' boys, like everything. It's so good. Gumbo. Yeah, it's
I
good
just
stuff.
had a new bucket list item popping up on my on my list.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
good.
Thank you. So,
Yeah.
if you want to share anything with, like, yeah, at the end, so now is your time. I don't have any more questions.
If I have a question for you, or just a
Course.
question in oh,
If you want to
mm,
share something at the, you can have a question for me. I'm cool with that.
okay, okay. Yeah. Question for you.
Well, that's actually a good idea. I have to. Mhm.
Yeah. What are you most excited about with your new podcast?
Hmm. Yeah, actually,
Hmm.
I will rebrand it, so I think I'm excited about that. I
Mhm.
want to rebrand it as yeah, because I have this image on LinkedIn as the Wonder Woman of cyber, but Wonder
Mhm.
Woman, that's something that belongs to a company, you know? So
Oh,
it's, I think
right.
it's copyrighted, so I don't want to necessarily, yeah,
Mm.
connect it with me too much. It's like a was a symbol for me for a few years, but I want to more go more into like woman in the red dress kind of persona, in like a
Oh,
very
cool.
like 60s dress design maybe, very retro and kind of like the woman in the red dress from the Matrix that you don't really
Oh my gosh, that's
you pay
brilliant.
attention to her, but she's actually someone else. So so yeah, and there's like a text, don't look at the woman in the red dress. So kind of what I
Yeah.
want to like embrace into like women are like not really taken into account like 100% in the industry, but we can be very knowledgeable, maybe dangerous as well, because I want to be more into like physical pen testing, like cover access, like entering a building on noticed security, social engineering. So that would be my uh, coloring, would I say? Maybe.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's what I want to create for this podcast as well. It will be still, I will be still inviting guests, but I will try to have more into like the physical security part and like pen testing, offensive security. So that red dress also like goes well with the red teamer. So it's like
Mhm.
layers like onion, you know. But I have that idea for myself, so that's exciting.
Ah,
And I'm
yeah.
really excited about like big names for me, big names from LinkedIn, from the community, really agreeing to join me on my stream. So that's like a mind blowing experience for me, and I think that's my favorite part. That actually I was really happy that you accepted my invitation as well. So I think you're an amazing person. So yeah, I'm happy to have met you, like maybe not in person, but kind of. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say here. Thank you for actually asking. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that idea. That is so cool. That's so smart, and you've thought about it all the way through with the red dress. Like, do it, brand it, trademark it now. Like, that's yours, belongs to you. I love it. That's
Yeah,
so
and I
cool.
already started to wear red dress on like conferences and last year. I think
Yeah.
just I have just one like from the store, like I purchased one that I liked, but I think I will create something custom. And
Mm,
yeah, I have the idea there. So yeah, thank you. So if
yeah,
you want
that's
to
cool.
say something at the end, like, uh, but you can say something now.
Yeah. Well, okay. Just thank you for having me on. Thank you for including me in your group of cool cybersecurity people that you've met online. I feel just like a normal person. I don't look at myself like, wow, I'm so remarkable. I work hard and I put myself out there and I try to connect genuinely with people. So it feels really good to be included in this, and I really appreciate you and the work you're doing. I'm like so psyched for your trajectory with everything you're doing. So thank you. I appreciate you so much.
And then, thank you as well. I'm blushing here. So yeah, thank you for accepting and for coming into my stream. So I think that's it. I will, yeah, a wave bye for you
Okay,
and
bye.
bye.